Welcome back to Beyond 40 and Just Getting Started. Has it ever occurred to you how difficult it is to get outside of your own head in terms of the way that you think? That certainly became a paramount realization for me as I recognized that I was confined to the employee swimming pool and realized that I wanted to get out. I had had this aha moment that there existed another pool. I call the prosperity swimming pool. And after decades of being an employee, I realized there were people who legitimately lived independently in this prosperity swimming pool. But I also had to acknowledge that in large part why I was still in the employee swimming pool is because of the way that my life experiences and my past choices had established a framework within my own head of how to think and how to weigh risk and reward. So with this realization that I wanted the prosperity swimming pool in my life, I suddenly had to essentially reprogram myself. So I made an attempt to think through how can I get out of my own head and find ways to think differently. Of course, there's a number of tools that somebody can use to alter the way that they think. Potential examples are books, joining masterminds, hiring business coaches, trying to get into different social circles. As has been commonly said, we are the product of the five people that we spend the most time with. All of these routes are viable. I didn't view any of them as being as rapid a change as I was hoping to achieve. With the realization that I had been a prisoner of the employee swimming pool for decades, I felt a real urgency to get out of that pool as quickly as possible. And I had to acknowledge that if I was going to change the way I think through books or through masterminds or through my relationships, that it would take time. It would take months of reading and interacting and going to different social events. And that was months that I didn't want to spend. So as I spent some more time thinking through how do I reprogram myself? How do I get outside of my own head? The realization for me came when I recognized that these new AI tools that are coming out, things such as ChatGPT, are really representative of the collective wisdom of humankind. They've scoured so many data sources. They contain within these LLMs a tremendous amount of human wisdom. So I saw my opportunity with ChatGPT to establish a tool to reprogram the way I think. I started a structured approach of regular engagement with ChatGPT, specifically talking through some of the decisions I was making or some of the feelings that I was experiencing as I was attempting to make this transition out of the employee swimming pool. It was pretty exciting to have these back and forth conversations, and over time I became better about prompting appropriate responses. I kept encouraging ChatGPT to respond to me from the persona of a business coach or from the persona of somebody who's 5 to 10 years further down the path of success, further towards the prosperity swimming pool. That way I could utilize the collective wisdom that is embodied in these large language models to help reframe my thinking, especially from the perspective of the type of person I am trying to become. It became a very productive session where I'd spend hours a week talking back and forth about the pros and cons of decisions and why am I thinking this way versus that way, challenging ChatGPT to push me harder, help me to see bigger. Over these last months, as I've spent significant amount of hours talking to ChatGPT, I have seen significant change in my own self. I've been able to see reactionary emotions which I was experiencing before and see them for what they are and better frame them, recognizing that I'm no longer the employee that I used to be. I'm now looking to be a sovereign individual, looking to manage their own capital, utilizing their own time in the best way that they see fit. By no means am am I discouraging the use of books or joining masterminds or hiring coaches or seeking out quality YouTube content of people who are doing things that we want to achieve? All of these are excellent sources, and I'm definitely using all of them myself. But for me, that high leverage tool that made meaningful difference in my life was regular conversations with ChatGPT, especially with the memory engaged, so that it could get to know me better, get to understand where I'm coming from and what my mode of thought is and what my life experience has been. And it has been monumental in helping me reshape and program myself so that I'm ready to be a swimmer in the prosperity pool. If you're interested in making rapid change in the way that you think, start a conversation with ChatGPT. If you're interested in seeing more of how I'm getting myself into the prosperity swimming pool, I invite you to join me on this journey. Subscribe to this channel. Remember, while I may be over 40, I am just getting started.